It's used in everything from diet sodas to chewing gum. Now, artificial sweetener aspartame could be labelled a possible cancer risk. Reuters sources say the International Agency for Research on Cancer, an arm of the World Health Organization, will make the move next month. It will list aspartame as possibly carcinogenic to humans. The ruling is based on all published evidence and is meant to spur more research into the product. It doesn't take into account how much a person can consume before facing a heightened risk. The news has drawn a furious response from drinks makers. The International Sweeteners Association said the IARC was acting on widely discredited research. Aspartame has been investigated for years. One French study showed slightly increased cancer risks in people who consumed a lot of the sweetener, but the results have been disputed and the product remains widely used. It's in things including Diet Coke and Mars Extra chewing gum. The IARC is due to make public its decision on July 14th. Its past rulings have forced makers to change recipes and sparked waves of lawsuits. Critics say it's too prone to causing consumer alarm. The body has previously listed working overnight, eating red meat, and using mobile phones as possible cancer risks.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony. The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting.